Well, this is a big day. This is a very big day because this is the infamous Father Ron, Father Ron broadcast. I'm so nervous I can't even say my guest's name. Is the lighting okay? You know what, I would like you to hit that button right there for me, please.
No, it's perfect the way it is.
Would you please, let's just see it. Let's just see it. See? And then flip the other one too. Okay.
No, that's bad.
You don't like it?
No.
Okay. Well,
turn,
you see
turn
how...
that one up.
Okay, okay.
Hey, that's better.
Look, we have so much ground to cover here, and I want to introduce my one and only guest that I've ever had on the show, other than my family members. And this gentleman is from Reed City, Michigan. Okay, and he has been a priest. He has been a priest at Holy Redeemer Parish in Jenison, Michigan for the past 13 years. He is in charge of priestly vocations in a gigantic diocese of Grand Rapids, Michigan, West Michigan, which covers Muskegon, Kalamazoo. I mean, not Kalamazoo. It covers the West Michigan area. And let me just say, it is a lot of ground. He's covered so many miles. Ladies and gentlemen, he is my priest at my parish till June 30th. Please welcome in Father Ron Hutchinson. Hi, Father Ron. Come here, come here. Oh my God.
Bring it on in.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
This
for
is
inviting me.
fantastic.
Wow. I feel really honored to be your first guest.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You're going to go down in history, Father Ron.
You are in the Labatt Blue Joseph Reed Remax TC Paintball Studio.
Wonderful. Is this like that show on where they pass out drinks too?
What is that?
I don't know, that one that guy is always, they're always drinking on that show.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
not,
that's like
is that
that game.
between two ferns?
No,
That's another one though.
there's one that does it. It's
Yeah, I can't
game
understand.
night. Game night.
Halloween game night?
How's game
Yeah,
night?
they
They do
drink.
that.
Okay.
Speaking of drinks, would you like some
drink?
water?
Yeah, a drink of water would be fine.
No, water.
Because I have to keep myself,
Yeah.
hydrated.
You don't want to drink booze?
No, not right
Are
now.
you warm in here?
It is warm, but you know, I'm fine.
tonight. You can't
I'm
be
fine.
drinking booze.
Okay. You know what? You're not going to believe what I did. And during the winter, all the screens needed to be repaired. So I took them all out, but I didn't ever get to Gemmons to get them repaired. So they're all in the garage, and I didn't expect it to be this warm at this time of
And
year.
now you need screens.
Yeah. So it's like,
Oh well.
I'm going to turn on the air tonight
Don't
because
worry about
it's the worst. So, okay. The TC Paintball Studio, just a thought. I wanted to get this out of the way early. Would you ever consider at TC Paintball a tournament between teams, 4 teams? We've got Catholic priests, and they it's like 2 teams, and then it's like a bracket, like the tournament. And then you would take on like the Buddhists. And then you'd have like the rabbis and the clerics in the other bracket. And then the winner gets a trophy.
It just sounds really bad.
You don't like the idea?
I can't imagine the Buddhists wanting to get paintball guns and.
Well, the problem with the Buddhists is they have a lot of skin exposed, and it would be very painful.
It'd hurt, yeah. Where we could wear layers.
Yeah. So
I think it's a great idea, the whole paintball thing, but I don't think it'll happen.
do you know how much we could make in pay-per-view revenue? You talk about Catholic service appeal?
Yeah.
It would be incredible. We would sell out the place.
I'm sure it would be incredible. I think I'll leave that one off the bishop's desk.
Hey, don't forget Catholic services appeal. This is so beautiful because not only can we talk about like RCIA and Catholic services appeal and things like that. It's all here, and it's forever.
Forever.
I will forever be the person who champions all of your causes.
Oh, thank you.
Would appreciate it? I can't tell you, I've been wanting to do this for so long. I mean, you know what I did? I left my questions over there next.
Would you like me to recreate it?
Would you grab those for me, please? Did you get a chance to look at some of the
I
questions?
did. Yeah, they're.
Is there anything you don't want me to cover?
No, we can cover everything. Some of them are harder to answer than others.
Okay. Okay.
Some of them take longer than others.
Yeah, I know. So let me ask you this, first of all. You're in charge of the seminarians. These are young people. They're all young people, right?
Well, I mean,
Some not?
There's we have one that's 50 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a person who's entering the priesthood, and that at like a late in life thing.
Yeah,
huh?
he worked for Cisco Foods, I think, before he came in the seminary.
That is incredible.
Yeah. But he's been studying. He's 50. He's 50 something.
Wow. So you work with these people as they go on their journey, wanting to become a priest. And how much education is involved in wanting to become a priest in that whole process?
Well, before someone actually can do the graduate school work of going to the seminary, they have to have a bachelor's degree. They can either get a bachelor's degree like on their own, they've gotten it, and then they decide to go in the seminary, or they can go to a college seminary. So that's a 4-year degree. If you get a bachelor's degree at a college seminary, it would mean that you could go right into First Theology at the major seminary. If you don't, if you get the bachelor's degree on your own, you would start in pre-theology. So it's either 4 years or 6 years at major seminary.
Okay.
Pre-theology would be 2 years, major seminary is just 4 years.
Sounds like a party.
No, it's not. Not unless you consider studying a lot of hours, going to classes, and praying 3 times a day, a party.
Hold that thought. Can you grab, there's a chair inside of that closet, and could you put it next to Father Ron so he can put his drink on it for me? Would you do that for me, please? I have so many assistants here.
You do, man. Your program is like, you
Yeah,
have people working for you.
Typically, I should have it all prepared ahead of time, but people have got, this is my 18th video, people have gotten really used to the dynamic, yes please, of it's just
things
chaos.
happen.
Yes,
Chaos,
absolutely.
okay. Well, chaos works. You know.
So, thank you,
Well,
Madison.
I have a question because,
Okay.
let's see.
Yep.
Okay, because I taught CCD in the past, and the last time I taught it was back in 2008, I believe. And then we started praying for some of these seminarians, and I feel like some of the names are the same, 8 years later.
They could have been in college seminary and then went on to major seminary. So yeah,
So
it's
that'd be
possible.
about right.
It
Okay,
could
because
be possible.
when they graduate from major seminary, they don't.
And actually, one of the guys that's this year that is being ordained as a deacon would have been in college seminary back then.
Okay, so that does make
Yeah.
sense then.
So these are, I'm sorry.
When they are done with major seminary,
They get
Is there
ordained to the
another-
priesthood.
right away?
Yeah, right away. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
these are college people. These are young people. Is there like, I mean, when I went to college, it was panty raids and keg stands. Does that ever go on? I mean,
No,
no.
not at all.
Okay.
Panty raids. I mean, first off,
Where are they going to get
gosh,
panties at in seminary?
I have to tell you, when you say things like that, you sound like you're from the 1950s, and I know that's not the way it was when you were in college. Panty raids. I mean, this isn't Animal House.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
Okay, well, I
It
don't know.
wasn't
I mean,
like that when we were
and it wasn't. I don't remember.
There's gotta be keg
You know,
stands, though, I mean-
I went to college, and we did not have panty raids.
okay, well, we didn't either.
You know,
but-
Sandra D wasn't at my college.
Okay.
I feel like I don't want to know what this
Yeah,
is.
that was a bad. I forgot you were there. That was all
Should
weird.
I like leave?
No, it's okay. If I pay attention, I won't ask questions. If I pay attention to you being here, I won't ask questions like that. So it's
Yeah.
probably. So what did you think when where were you? What did you think when you heard I got fired?
To be honest with you, I did not hear about it till you really told me.
Because you called me. Though.
Yeah, you were somehow because you were having a bad day and you were having rough. You told me something rough was going on in your life.
Oh,
But you
so when
did-
you called me, you had no
I
idea.
had no idea.
Oh
I
my
had no
God.
idea. So you
Oh,
dropped
yeah.
it. You dropped it like a bomb on me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
So, but then from then on, it was like I kept reading about it.
Okay.
Everywhere, so.
All right.
But no, the interesting part is though, I have to admit that I said to myself even as you were talking, it wasn't a shock.
No.
Because I think somebody in the kind of radio show you were doing, I mean, that you lasted as long as you did, the whole crew, that
Uh-huh.
you hadn't gotten fired already,
Okay.
was a miracle.
Right.
You know? I mean, seriously, some of the things you guys used to talk about, I didn't even listen to your show.
I'm glad that
You
said
would just tell me about your show and I would be shocked.
that. Okay. There was a question from a listener.
I mean, you quoted me on your show. Many times.
Several times, I
Well,
think.
from homilies and stuff
Well,
like that.
yeah, no, you also quoted when I said that you were when you were having that problem running, and you looked.
Oh,
I said you looked like you had MS when you were running.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good line. That's a great. That's a great
how
line.
you did look, though. I mean, it was sad.
Bob Ryan was alive.
I wasn't lying, but I didn't need to be quoted on like.
Yes, you did.
Radio.
Yes, you did need to be quick. If my spiritual leader says to me, "Hey, I saw you running. You look like you got MS." That's funny.
No,
That needs to be told.
okay, and it did. Trust me.
That was a bad day running too, evidently.
Adam writes, do you ever laugh to yourself after Eric gives confession?
Well, first off, it's not like you come like every other week.
Well, I come more than these heathens.
Yeah, those heathens don't come at all.
Hey,
Oh, I do no.
I've been
I'll tell you, no.
there.
The last time I went to confession which was a few weeks ago.
I wasn't there. Okay.
Very annoyed because you weren't
I was
there.
there.
I walked in expecting you, and I have this guest priest, and he was rude to me.
And then I had to serve for him the next day.
He was rude to
He
me.
wasn't rude to you. He was a terrific
He was
person
just-
to have a confession.
like
He was just normal.
She got frustrated. Here's the story.
She came in and said, "You're not Father Ron."
But
I
she
was- yeah, I
she
don't
was ahead
like
of me.
it.
She walks in there, and I don't know that he is there. She walks out, and she goes, "Well, that was rough." I go, "What?" And she says, "Well," I said.
No, I said, first of all, it wasn't Father Ron.
I understand
That was annoying.
I understand it. And you know, you started it off, and he said, "How long has it been since your last confession?" And you said, "Well, Father, I don't know." And then what got her upset was the line, days, months, years, decades,
This century?
millennium.
This century.
And then, so she recited that to me, and she goes, "Screw you!" I go, "You can't." I go, "You can't have a confession with a priest, and while you're still in the narthex, say screw you to the priest." I go, "You can't do that." I go, "Take it back." I go, "Go put holy water in your
Maybe
head."
go back in.
Go back in.
Okay, Father Ron knows
By
I
the
don't.
way, 5 Hail Marys and
I
I'm
know,
the
I
Father
need
for
to,
that.
I do.
Absolutely.
But no, Father Ron knows I do not do well without him.
Yeah, she doesn't. She
Okay.
doesn't. Oh,
It's bad. That sabbatical you went on a couple of years ago was awful.
It was awful. I had a great time. Actually.
Absolutely.
My sabbatical was horrible for her.
It was.
Let's see. I'd love to know what Father Ron thought of when we all first met and what he thinks about the on-air personality. This is the one, compared to what he sees at Mass.
Now, it's interesting because I have said, how many times have I said to you that I have been surprised by the large chasm between the on-air personality and the Eric I know?
Yes, we've discussed
And that I have said to you, I didn't think it was going to be long before there was some point in your life where this was going to start having a little too much friction for you.
Okay, and that has been mentioned to me by other people in my family. I never liked it when I heard it. So
Yeah, you didn't like it,
Yeah.
but
It's
I
true.
always said to you, there's going to become a point where that's an issue, or it should be an issue.
well, it is right now.
It is. It is right now.
Well, it was.
It was.
Well, actually, the problem is solved now because I don't have a job.
Yeah, you're
so-
right. Well, you have a job. You just have a different job.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
you've created a whole new life for yourself.
Yes.
Kind of a crazy one, but
Yeah. But you
It
know.
works.
by
It's
the way,
working.
I think those other jobs you've tried with the hockey team,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're good at any of them.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I'm excellent at those.
No, he's not.
No, you're not.
Well, yes, I am.
And by the way, stay away from the Zamboni.
That's
Oh,
it.
I'm
And
just- stay away
don't
from
let him take any equipment.
No taping.
Definitely don't answer
equipment.
phones.
Answer phones.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Next question. How do you feel about the current Pope, Pope Francis? This person says he seems socially liberal. What do you think about that?
You know what? I think it's interesting to me that people have attributed him to being really social liberal. I think it's interesting. He's in some ways not saying that many different things than past popes. It's just getting more airtime, so to speak. And because he's so focused on the poor, that is getting a lot of, so to speak, airtime. But it's not like past popes didn't care about the poor. You know, it just
Right.
wasn't the whole focus of their papacy. So I don't know. I mean, I like him. I was there when he was elected.
Right. Yeah.
I was
you
on
were.
sabbatical
You actually were. You happened
when
to be
I
in
was
Rome
in Rome.
when that happened.
When Benedict resigned, and I was there for when the white smoke came out of the pipe.
You were watching it.
I was there right in the piazza.
Wow.
And I was here mopey.
Yeah, and I'm literally I was
Around
when yeah, Diana was moped. But because I wasn't there to listen to her confession,
Right.
But I wasn't even thinking about that
No,
because
no, no.
I was in St. Peter's Square. I saw the white smoke come up out of the Sistine Chapel. I was literally carried by the tsunami of people
Wow.
to the front of the area, right.
And then he
Not
comes
far
out
from
right
the-
there.
He
doesn't
came out of the balcony way up there, but I was only 20 people from the very front of that, and it was really funny because all of a sudden I saw some college seminarians that I knew from the college seminary that our guys attend, and I knew that 2 of the guys were in town, and I said, hey, where are our 2 seminarians? And they're like, Father, they're like 20 feet in front of you.
Keg stand.
I mean, it was like, so we were like,
Awesome.
so I had to move a few nuns out of the way. And
Wow.
I got to have a picture with them.
So you're in Rome, and priests everywhere. Can priests ever get fired? Is there ever like, hey, you're terrible, get out of here? Is that?
Yeah, that can't happen, actually.
I mean, they don't. I mean, they kick them out of the priesthood.
Well, no, they're usually not kicked out of the priesthood. They usually send you off to some monastery or someplace. They hide you away.
Can you ever earn it back? Can you ever get back into their good graces?
You have to get into the good graces of the next bishop, usually.
Ugh.
Oh dear.
The next boss.
Okay.
Maybe. But usually once you're out, you're out.
Let's see. Somebody asks, why do you think there's been a decline in priests over the years?
Actually, it's interesting. The decline in priesthood also mirrors the decline in Protestant ministers, rabbis. It's in the same amount of decline as every single ministry, life ministry like that. So it's not any different in any other religion. It's just that there are Catholics. It just shows up much more readily when there's less priests. So, but also, the highest number of priests ever were right after World War II.
Right.
Part of it, that makes sense because look at how many people went into service careers right after that. And so they went into lives that were dedicated to, mission work of all types,
Okay.
not just religious mission work, but so that was the highest number at any time. But it marks all religions are affected by this right now.
Wow.
Because we have a very selfish society.
We've got more questions for Father Ron, but I do have to take care of some business here, and as promised, I'll keep this to the normal duration. First of all, I want to tell you about my friends at Lake Effect Property Services. Stuart Postema has been so kind to step up and join us on here. Lake Effect Property Services, thank you very much for the shirt. You're a good man. And a great group over there, and they want to take care of your lawn. They want to fertilize it for you. They want to spread your mulch. They want to take care of all your landscaping. If this is the type of thing that you're in the market for, getting somebody to take care of your property, your lawn, please consider them and at least call them up and get a quote. They are at lakeeffectps.com, lakeeffectps.com. You can also see them on my Facebook page. They're linked up there. You can check them out. Go to their Facebook page, like them, and write my name, post my name, and you'll be in the drawing for 4 Griffins tickets for an upcoming game, okay? So they do it all there, Lake Effect Property Services. Again, lakeeffectps.com. Thanks a lot. They'll mow it, they'll fertilize it, they'll put the mulch down, they'll put up retaining walls. If you need them, please consider Lake Effect Property Services. If somebody is in a confessional, Father Ron, and they confess murder, can the priest call the police? Are they supposed to? How does that work?
No.
It's like a doctor, right?
No, we can't. First off, we can't. We're under the seal of confession, period.
Yeah.
But I hate to tell you, murderers don't go to confession very frequently.
Well, I'm just saying, what if he feels bad?
I'm just pointing out, in 21 years of priesthood, I've never had a murderer go to confession.
Of course, maybe, but there's lots of priests out there.
And I live in Jenison, so if it's going to happen, it's going to happen here.
In Genesis, for sure.
So if a guy comes in and says, oh yeah, that happened, and then the priest says, okay, I forgive you. I mean, does he just walk out and go, woof? Or does the priest say, I order you to go to the police?
You can't make that a part of it. But, I mean, how could someone truly be sorry and then they're not willing to go to the police? So what I'm saying to you is, the likelihood, you have to demonstrate true sorrow for your sins.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone coming to confession saying, I murdered somebody, but I'm not willing to take the consequences of that, has true sorrow for their sins. Murderers don't go to confession. That's an interesting question that people love to pose. You know who loves to pose that question to me the most frequently? Second graders. I'm serious.
It's about that age where they.
I guarantee you, everybody wanted to know that. That was a terrific question.
No, it wasn't.
I get a star. That was awesome.
Bad question.
Is that your own question?
Yeah, it was. I actually wrote that up myself. Well, have you ever heard any criminal activity, like maybe stealing like peeps during Easter time from Meyer?
Yeah, peep stealers are the first ones to come to me. I have had people, teenagers, confess but usually they're coming to confession as part of their parents' punishment of them.
Yeah.
You know, because their parents have caught the fact that they stole something.
Yeah.
They're now coming to confession as kind of a process. They've already done restitution, you know.
Yeah.
This is just part of the
Has my son Jim ever come in there and said, I got a girl pregnant?
You know what? Your son, if he came to confession to me, I could not tell you.
Okay, all right. That's
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
that was
Eric,
a dumb
come-
question.
So it's a nice question you asked, but I cannot share that with you.
I know he has. It's all he does is makes babies and make pizzas. You know, but not at the same time.
Well, please, dear God, not at the same time. I think they should be in two different places.
They're together. Those two have really. I mean, they're together. They're
trying.
trying to find their way. I admire the effort.
But I think he should get a permanent life before he has many more babies.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I mean, he's
thinking.
doing it backwards, but the kid is. So
Making it harder for himself.
it
That's
is
what-
difficult,
sure.
but I mean, if they're okay with the struggle, if it's okay for you, it's okay with me. You know, that was a tough thing as a parent to process that. But
Yeah. Sometimes we just have to let go and let God.
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Marcia in Maine, he's come from all over the place.
I know,
by the
I
way.
saw
Isn't
that.
terrific?
Marcia in Maine.
Yeah. Well,
she
after
had
getting
problem with
fired-
weather. She had problem with
Yeah,
weather.
I imagine.
Must be lots of.
I was raised Catholic, but never made First Communion. Started each year's CCD classes, but winter happened, and we just wouldn't go, and the roads were bad. Can you believe that? What
I
would
thought in Maine they just traveled no matter what.
They're supposed to.
Put chains on the tires and just go. you
She
know?
wants to know basically what would she need to do, and if she'd be getting her First Communion with little kids.
No. Actually, she would have to do something that you have been connected with, RCIA. You have sponsored somebody. She would, as an adult now, really have to go through the Christian initiation process.
Yep.
Because even though she's gone to CCD, started, numerous
Yeah.
times, to be quite honest with you, she probably needs a lot of refreshing and all of that kind of thing.
Sure.
And she needs to take on faith as an adult. So that would be, and she wouldn't be receiving First Communion with kids
Second graders.
for second graders.
She'd be on the Easter
She'd be
Vigil.
with the adults at Easter Vigil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at any time because she's baptized Catholic already.
Okay,
So
yeah.
she could be brought into
Oh,
the
that's
church
true.
fully at any time.
Yeah, and Father Ron mentioned it, the rite of Christian initiation of adults at Holy Redeemer is filled with some of the most amazing people. I mean, Rhonda, Betty and Dan Searle are just
yeah.
terrific. And
Gene,
yeah, I was sponsoring a good friend Josh. He's going to be, he's going to have his First Communion and his confirmation on the Easter Vigil. And while being in that with Josh, it was there, I was like, Betty mentioned to me, she goes, you should really join with us all the time with adult formation. So I said, well, I'm in, I'll do it. That sounds great. So if you are ever wanting to become Catholic and you come to Holy Redeemer, I am going to be there with you from here on out. So as soon as
but
we...
this Eric will not be there with
No,
you.
this is Eric. This is me.
Okay.
Because you and I have been good here.
No, you haven't. It's not quite as exuberant as this. It's a little bit more
You've
like...
never
bit
seen
more-
me
Yeah,
in the
I'm
class.
actually less exuberant.
No, that is, I disagree. You'll have to ask Betty.
I'm gonna have to ask Betty. We're gonna tape you in class.
No,
Yes, do that.
I am all
She
in.
is talkative though.
I am
Well,
very
that's why she
talkative.
likes it.
We
Yeah.
talk about prayer and things like that. I do this. This is, if you come to Holy Redeemer and go through the and go through the program with us, I'm telling you, you will not be let down. It'll be so fantastic. Next year, you can start with us. Send me an email. Send me an email, and then I'll.
I won't be the pastor. though.
No, you won't. We will have a brand new, fantastic pastor. Just
I
Well,
might have
maybe not. No, maybe not fantastic.
I'm sure it will be.
He'll be okay.
I'm sure it will be.
He'll just be okay.
Do you know if it's a person who is from the area?
I don't know. It'll be somebody from the Diocese of Grand Rapids.
Are they going to do it like the way they do it with the Pope? Is he going to be on the roof with
No,
white smoke?
no.
And anything like
And
that?
they're gonna flip a coin.
Okay. So what's that like? I mean, you are now will be full-time doing priestly vocations.
Yeah.
This is the first time as a priest that you will not be in running a parish.
Yeah. It's gonna be very different. Yeah. I won't have a weekend assignment, meaning I will not be in the same parish every weekend. I will be traveling from parish to parish, encouraging vocations, talking to young people. Yeah, it's going to be very strange to have a weekend assignment.
When you're trying to get people to enter the priesthood or facilitate them or encourage them, are you like a college football coach recruiting high school players? Do you tell them all the benefits of being a priest?
Yeah, it's like that. Tell them how wonderful priesthood is, and
it's like, you're gonna love celibacy.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about all the things, but we also talk about the hard things and the difficult things. But at the same time, you're encouraging, you're promoting, you're talking about all the great parts about priesthood that you like about priesthood. So it is like selling U of M or selling Ohio State or whatever. Yeah. Only thing I can't do is I can't say you're going to wear a specific number and you're going to play this position, and I can say this is what's great about it, but I can talk about my life.
Right. It says here, in other denominations, spiritual leaders, pastors, and the like can marry and have children. How come Catholic priests can't do that?
Catholic priests have always followed the idea of celibacy since the early centuries of the church. Now, early on, there were married bishops, okay? But then that became entangled with family problems and money issues and passing of the bishop's office onto their son when the son wasn't even religious, and so it led into some horrible things. So the church went to celibacy right away in the early centuries of the church. And so celibacy has always been seen as the way of devoting yourself entirely to God. So you don't have a family to worry about, you don't have children to worry about, all you have is your life in service to God and church. So, if you think about it, even like Tibetan monks do the same thing. Buddhist monks do the same thing. They really do. If you look at how most old world religions handle devoting their life to prayer, to service, it's always been celibacy's been connected with it. So I look at it this way. I wouldn't want to make my children or my spouse deal with my life. First, my life is being able to, at the drop of a hat, go to the hospital, go to, a nursing home, sit with the family, all that stuff. And you can't do that if you go, well, my kids have a program tonight, and it's, the choice between going to the school program or going and sitting with Mrs. McGillicuddy who's dying. Well, the problem is, some ministers, what they would do is they'd say, well, I got to go be with Mrs. McGillicuddy. Right. Well, then the kids get resentful because you're never at their programs. The wife feels like you're never at home. So, I don't have to worry about that. Just the dog gets angry when I'm
Sure. My gosh. Michelle writes, we are called to be saints. Do you, Father Ron, see Saint Zane in the future, and what would he be the patron saint of?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Say radio.
Yeah.
Is there a patron saint of radio?
A patron saint of radio disc jockeys. Radio personalities.
That's right.
Because they're not disc jockeys.
Yeah, I don't play.
No.
I know you're not a disc jockey. You're a personality.
I'm a talent.
You're a talent.
I am a talent.
Yeah. I'm a talent too. Well, you know what? Let's just really be honest. All of us are on the path to holiness. Okay. Whether there will be a Saint Zane is up to God to decide.
Saint Eric.
Yeah, or Saint Eric. There's probably already a Saint Eric, so we can't duplicate that. And you could be this patron saint of on-air personalities.
Okay, all right.
And then Juliet Dragus could pray to you.
Oh, okay.
Pray, asking your intercession.
Absolutely.
Sorry, not pray to you.
Wow, this is, let's see.
What about my question for you?
I've been dominating this. Do you have questions? Yeah, I did tell you that I want a question. What do you have?
I have a question. So, if you had to today, if I was a Muslim, and today was the decision, Christian or die, what would you do? Are you a Christian or would you rather die?
the Muslim wants me to be a Muslim. He wants me to.
Muslim or
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you Christian or not?
Okay. So if I say I'm Christian, if I say I'm Muslim, I live. If I say I'm not Muslim, I die.
And we'll say he's an ISIS member.
Oh boy. That is difficult because I don't want to die. Can I lie?
And he's standing right here, right in front of your wife and your kids.
Well, is it the type of thing where if I would say
no lying.
Lying?
I can't. Why can't I lie? Why can't I tell him Muslim and then the SWAT team comes in, shoots them, and I say I'm just kidding?
This isn't an NCIS episode. This is this is real life. This is do or die.
I am not going to lie to you. I would say Muslim because I'm scared to die, and I wouldn't want to die.
Okay, this is why you can't be a saint.
Yeah, I can't lie to you. If I said to you I would rather die.
I'd rather die.
You get to go to heaven.
Well, maybe this is why I need
You
more
know what?
faith.
I would rather die.
I need more faith than
I would rather die than have to face God and say, when I finally do die, you didn't say yes.
I would say yes, God. I dropped the ball there. I was scared to death.
He would say you didn't love me enough.
I would say you're right. At the time, I did not. I was hoping though
And
that.
he'd say, and you know what? I don't love you enough right now.
No, wait a second.
we're
You
gonna
gotta understand though.
years.
If I
And
say
then that little thing will slide out from underneath you and
this is a mess. Let me explain something. I say, all right, I'm a Muslim. I live. Then I have the rest of my life to expand my faith, and then hopefully, if I'm presented with that, what? Come on, that makes sense, doesn't it?
No. Wimp.
Well, yeah,
You're
I am.
That's a cop-out.
But I'm not going to lie to you.
You know what?
I will
Your
never
wife just
lie
called
to
you
you.
a cop-out.
Well, that's entirely fair.
Okay,
entirely fair.
This is why I'm trying to help you, because you had a person who said, Saint Eric Zane, and I'm saying saints were the people willing to die.
I'm not willing to die right now.
Lucy was willing to put her eyes on a platter.
I don't know who that is.
Saint Lucy.
She did. Why did she do that?
They plucked her eyes out
Oh.
because she was.
This is awful.
Yeah. What about Saint Lawrence? I think they grilled him.
They made a seaway out of him.
They grilled him.
This is very unbelievable.
This is part of our heritage.
Yeah, I know, man. It's just.
You don't like that parts of our heritage, do you?
Well, I've never really given it any thought until now.
And now you're wishing I hadn't brought it up.
It's like in that that book that you gave me, Rediscovering Catholicism.
Jesus,
It starts with, okay, the whole world has a disease, and your son is the only has like the antibodies in his body, but
he would have to die.
Yes, they have to. In order to save humanity, your son would have to die. What would you do, Diana? Would you save humanity, or would you let humanity die so your son could live? What would you do?
The normal human response would be like, let my son live.
Yeah, let my son live.
But God did.
You let her off the hook! You killed me! You let her off the hook!
I didn't say
No,
that.
she didn't answer you. I said the normal human response.
You should have said to me, Eric, the normal human response is you'd say you'd be Muslim.
No, actually, that's not the
Honey,
normal
I think you
human
need to
response.
read this.
Because look at the Christians.
Tell him he needs to read this.
Yeah, you need to read that study Bible more.
Well, anyway, that's what God did. He gave up his only son to save the world.
Here,
So that was
study.
Yeah.
You need to study.
I left this up, by the way. This was under there, and I left it out. Just because
You left it out. You
were-
left it out so that I would see it, right?
And I left the Beatitudes on the computer desk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but where's Mary Undoer of Knots?
she's upstairs.
She's in his room.
I was expecting like suddenly there would be like painted, handwritten
Oh, yeah.
Bible quotes on
Yes,
their walls
yes.
and all sorts of stuff, And then as soon as I left, you'd wash them off. Just like, I'll be a Muslim till you walk out the room.
So
You
I have a
to-
question for Father
Okay,
Ron. Can I
okay,
ask him a
yeah,
question?
absolutely.
Because I might have to become Protestant or Baptist after June 30th, but in case I stay kept. But in case I stay,
In case you stay.
will you sub for our new priest if they ask you to?
Well, I probably will, but not for a little bit because I want to let the new guy settle in at our place. But I'll be at various other places. Maybe I'm going to have to start saying, if you want to come see me, I'll be at this place this weekend.
That might not be good. No, because I'll be like, okay, hello, here I am.
But one of the things I just volunteered today with I told the Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist that throughout the month of July, each weekend of the month of July, I'll do their Sunday Mass.
Oh.
Because the month of July, I need to settle into being new to the job,
Yeah.
and I just need to not be at any parish, I think, for
Right.
the first month. But I've also said to them, once a month I will say their Mass for them out at the farm.
Oh, that'd
and
be
their
cool.
associates. And I'm going to do Christmas with them and Easter with them.
Oh my
They do
goodness.
Christmas Mass on Christmas Eve in the barn.
Wow.
The Franciscan
Let's go
sisters
there.
in the
Is it-
barn. They
can the
sweep up the
public come?
barn, and public can come, and they have the animals, the cattle are lowing.
Oh my gosh.
The sheep
They
are
got animals,
buying.
too.
We're going there for
Buying.
Christmas.
Buying.
So, yeah, I can't wait for you to leave after the last exchange we had.
What?
Yeah.
Because me wanting to push the button on you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Is there another
No.
question you have for me? You have to have another question. Or
I
did you think of
do.
another?
I do. Okay, Eric. Now, you have just taken on this new responsibility with RCIA.
Yes, sir.
What is the one thing that you are already realizing, like, wow, I need to know more in this area?
Well, one of the things that has always stood out to me was, and I didn't realize that this was what it was until just a handful of years ago, and that is the Eucharist. I need to know more about the Eucharist and the transformation that takes place during the holiest part of the Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not still coming to grips with it like many Catholics do. I believe what you believe. I believe.
Okay, what do you believe?
I believe that on the altar,
You believe that becomes Jesus
something
Christ.
supernatural happens, and that is Jesus
That bread
Christ.
becomes Jesus Christ.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I believe.
Which is Eucharist.
Yes. Okay. Hope I didn't mess that
No,
up.
no,
But
that you said right.
I was on the right track.
And
I
the word
believe
for
that.
that is transubstantiation.
Okay.
Yes.
That to me requires more introspection, and I think that while doing the RCIA program with people who are hearing that for the first time,
You have to get a bigger grip on it.
yes,
Okay.
in
I think
order
that's fair
to
enough.
explain that to those people, and I do believe it, but sometimes when you explain it to them, they're like, what? And that's tough. That's tough for people. I'll bet you there's plenty of Catholics who, like Hot Wings from the old show. He doesn't believe that. He thinks it's symbol and only. He doesn't believe that to be
okay.
true. And I said, well, you realize that's the basis for everything that we are supposed to believe.
That's the
But
fun-
he's a part-time Catholic
That's
anyway. So
fundamental to our faith.
yeah. So
Yeah, and that is one of the issues that I would say that a lot of people, they think they're Catholic, but that's an area they still have yet to get some handle
Yeah,
around.
and it, they didn't teach me that when I was in catechism, or I never paid attention.
Well, you know what, they taught it, it's just that
They
you
couch
were a
it.
kid and somebody said that bread becomes Jesus.
Right.
That's all they said.
Yeah, that's it. They didn't make it clear, and it wasn't until I
but-
came to Holy Redeemer that I figured out. It's like that is not what's happening. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, okay, that's fair, that's fair. So, now, you're not gonna be super sad that I'm leaving, are you?
well, you know how I was sad
'Cause
after Mass.
you were very sad after
yeah, I
Mass.
cried.
You-
of course I cried. Well,
You made me very upset. You upset me. I mean, upset me in the sense that I felt bad. I felt bad.
oh,
that
I
was
wouldn't want you to feel.
I
that.
was like,
just-
oh my gosh, Eric is leaving here, crying.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're very special.
We
You've
both-
helped us
we
and
both
been
are.
you're a very good pastor, and so.
But
you
are we
know-
still going to be friends after this?
Oh,
or-
of course.
Okay, okay.
Well,
I'm going to do your radio show again. now?
absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I'd like is, because I am
Because
going to
next
be
time you're
working.
going to have alcohol for me?
Yeah, I'll have
Yes.
booze
We'll
for
do it a
you.
little bit later when you
And
don't have Mass.
I'm going to be on the radio before too long, and this is also a test. See, now we have trust here because you know that this is okay, and you know that I'm not going to make you look bad, and so now you can join me when I'm actually doing a terrestrial radio show.
That's true.
People would love this.
You know
I'm
what?
telling you, they would love this.
I didn't trust beer and hot wings. Free beer and
I
hot
can understand that. It isn't so much them;
You
it's
guys-
the nature of the
wings.
beast.
You guys scared the crap out of me.
It isn't the
And that's just
it's-
putting it mildly.
But I have to,
Because I knew if I went on there, that was not going to be pretty.
and I don't think, and it isn't so much that it's them. It's just that show, it was a
It's the dynamic.
different animal when I was on that show, and I had a different role. Now this next show is going to be an extension of this show. This is me leading and doing it all on my own, with my own legs, my own 2 feet, and my own brain. So on the radio, this is what you're going to get. You'll get me saying stupid things like, let's have the clerics against the priests in paintball wars. But at the same time, I can formulate my own thoughts and come up with my own views.
You know,
on things, so.
I don't think the Buddhists will want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is great, and I think that we've just touched the tip of, or have the tip of the iceberg.
Can I have another question? This is a serious
Yes.
question. Is we spend a lot, your job is to recruit future priests or whatever. Who does that for nuns? Like, this seems to kind of be
each religious order of women, which you refer to as nuns, has their own vocation director. But see, that's the difference between like a diocese, like I do it for the 11 county diocese of Grand Rapids. Each diocese has their own vocation director. That's true of women's religious. Each women's religious group has their own vocation director.
Okay.
I've got one more question.
So there's still influx of nuns coming in. There's still, I mean,
It depends on
nuns,
the religious order. It depends on the women's religious order. There's a group of Dominican sisters down in Ann Arbor that they are bringing them in hand over fist. I mean, the faster than fast. Like, they're building buildings faster than you can imagine.
And so this is a really dumb question. So nuns plead or whatever, or celibacy also, right?
They take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience.
Okay.
Celibacy is a little bit different than chastity in the sense that it says, I won't be married. And they do,
So
but
they
don't
can
take
go on parties
but they
still?
don't. No, they don't take a vow of celibacy. They take chastity.
Okay.
It's just a little bit different.
I'm excited.
There are moments when you do things like that I'm just like, what?
I got one more question.
And I try to ignore you usually.
I know. He kind of. You do a good job at that.
I'm really good at it, all right?
You really are.
For the most part.
I've got one more question, but I
Okay.
need to do a commercial.
Okay, do commercial.
It's for TC Paintball. Okay. By the way, you know what all these people did when I lost my job? And the first video I did was just me like crying.
I saw that one.
It was so pathetic. It was terrible.
It really wasn't a good show.
They all just came out of the woodwork and said, hey, we want to be a sponsor. So that's what this is. This is the dumbest thing ever.
Your
But
sponsors are all behind us.
Yes, so thank you. TC Paintball is brand new, and if you want to have I had a guy call up and says, I'm doing a bachelor party there because you told me to. These guys are great, and they've got all the gear there. If you're a paintball person who already knows everything there is to know about it, they have all the gear, and they're experts about what you need from supplies, paint, fix your gun, the whole deal. They take care of it all. They've got their wall of paintball guns. They're incredible. And they've got a massive indoor facility. They're an outdoor facility. They do everything. The clerics versus the priests will be a great showing, pay-per-view. And you can check them out online at tcpaintball.com. They're on Facebook too. Rick is the guy who runs the show over there, and he wants you to head over to Granville and see him at TC Paintball
versus the
for a party. Yes, rabbis and priests, that would be good too.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Interesting.
Have you ever been in Mass and somebody farted and you heard it?
No. I can't say that I have.
Have you ever done it and someone heard it?
I don't think so. That's
I mean, a big ripper.
First off, I don't think anybody would comment if they did.
Well, I've heard it. I've heard it.
You have?
I've heard somebody do it before. It's amazing.
No, I haven't.
I don't think I recalled that.
No, I don't. I have. Well, I don't want to get into this.
How about when the cell phones ring? Isn't that like I feel so bad.
I would
every time
rather
that
hear a
happens.
fart than a cell phone.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, have my choice.
That's
I'd rather
annoying.
take the fart than the cell phone. Because the cell phone drives me nuts. The fart is just natural God thing.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. God made farts on little green apples.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
But not right now, please.
No,
But yeah, cell phones bother me a lot. You know how badly they
Oh,
bother
yeah.
my
I just don't
God.
bring
But
it in
you know
the
what?
Mass. I leave it in the
Part
car.
of the reason they bother me, and this is what people don't get, cell phones never ring at the times in Mass where I'm reading out of a book.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It always happens when I'm in the middle of my homily.
Oh.
And I give homilies without any text. I don't have
Right.
a script in front of me. I don't have my.
Yeah, it's way distracting.
So then when a phone rings, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing that is more distracting than a phone, and I can handle usually kids crying or screaming out, and I have had a few occasions lately where the child just goes literally
happened recently.
I saw that.
bonzo.
That happened recently.
Yeah.
They just freak out, and it gets so loud and so obnoxious before finally the kid can get
Right.
out of church
Man.
that I've completely lost
Yeah.
all sense of
Man, the second our kids made a peep, we were gone. I mean, just out of there.
I don't think it has to be like that. I mean, I can handle quite a bit.
But I was always just afraid I'd be the guy, so I would
Yeah.
just like get out, you know.
Yeah, and that makes
It
sense.
does happen, but
That
So-
totally makes sense.
Okay, well that's it. I mean, we have had a great time, I think. Have you had a good
That
time?
one- yeah, this one fast.
This has been like 35, 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
it is 5 to 5 already.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good amount of
I
time.
don't know if people are really going to enjoy this.
Oh, they will.
Yeah,
I
they
can
will.
I can tell you this will be a
Okay.
big hit.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Father Ron, thank you so much. We'll do it
Thanks for
again.
coming back.
Would you shut us off, please?
Oh yeah, forgot my
Thank
job.
you. Peace.
Already.
Peace and love. Bye-bye.
Bye.